So while I have been enjoying the iPhone 14 Pro, I feel guilty waking up in the morning and turning a blind eye to this thing, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4. Because I only have one SIM card, I've been using the iPhone 14 Pro so that I can get a really good detailed review of the phone for you guys. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with the iPhone 14 Pro, I just feel like I'm giving up way too much. Although these phones are capable of doing pretty much the exact same tasks, it's the way that you do it on the Fold that makes it ever so slightly more productive. Speaking of productivity, if you could just be productive by smashing that like and subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. The large 7.6-inch inner display on the Fold plus Android 12L just makes multitasking very easy. It allows me to write a script while I'm looking at a spec sheet or watch YouTube videos while I'm browsing Twitter. And I'd be lying if I said that it was all for productivity. The display is really nice for watching content and even doing some mobile gaming. I really enjoy using the phone as if it were a tablet, it just happens that it folds up and fits right in my pocket. And one of the main concerns that I had with the Fold was that it was going to be a compromise in some areas. I thought the cameras would just not be anywhere near as good and that the cover display was just going to be okay. But after actually daily driving the Fold, I found that it tends to excel in those areas where I really thought it would be one of the weakest links. Take the cover display for example. Because of how narrow it is, it's actually very usable for things like reading timelines, like Twitter. Content is still large enough, but you're able to see more with this long vertical display. And since it is more narrow than a typical phone, it's actually easier to hold it in one hand and not feel like your pinky is gonna snap, even though it's a beefcake of a device. One of the biggest use cases that I've actually found myself using the Fold for is thumbnails. While this may not be a reason for one of you to consider the Fold, it's nice that I can use the front display to see what's going on with the main rear cameras, and then I wave my hand to snap and take a shot. It's made taking thumbnails for these videos super easily. I don't have to whip out this main camera every time I want to do it, and I don't have to rely on some of these pretty bad selfie cameras in these phones, especially the one on the Fold. The benefit of this camera setup though is the fact that you almost always have a tripod in your pocket. If you want to set up a shot for a vlog or just plop your phone down for a second while you're recording, thanks to flex mode, it really couldn't be any easier. Having that kind of versatility is awesome. And although you may not use those things every day, it's something that I've very easily taken for granted since having the 14 Pro in my pocket, despite me only actually owning the Fold for about a month now. This, more than ever, I feel like is starting to create a division in smartphones. Once I'm done scraping content out of the 14 Pro, I feel like the Fold is just naturally going to go back in my pocket and be my daily driver until the next iteration comes out. For me, the question is, why bother compromising? And while the Fold isn't necessarily for everyone, I feel like the use cases that it's offered just simply can't be replicated on any other device. The only negative to this form factor, in my opinion, is that it hasn't really been replicated by anyone else, at least in North America. And while foldable sales are doubling year over year at least, I feel like nothing is really going to change until the biggest player in their game gets their hands on this technology. Some of you watching this content may consider me an Apple hater. And while I did switch to using Samsung not too long ago, it just couldn't simply be far from the truth. But what I do hate is when a company tells you how to use your own device instead of offering more devices that cover a broad range of people. And the only reason I feel like that's an issue with Apple is because of the ecosystem they've created. When you purchase an iPhone, you're more likely to purchase AirPods, an Apple Watch, and if you're going to college, you might even look at getting a MacBook. This automatically, for a majority of people, makes their purchasing decision based on one company's latest offerings. And that's fine considering Apple has some of the fastest, most reliable, and highest quality smartphones, but at the end of the day, you're limiting yourself to what one company is willing to put out. And if you're like me and you want to try out a foldable or potentially even daily drive one, good luck trying to integrate it into your lifestyle when pretty much all of your devices are now either unusable or are missing features due to the fact you took away the heart of the ecosystem. Despite the rumors that we've seen of Apple working on a foldable iPhone, it doesn't really seem like it's going to be happening anytime soon, at least not for the next few years. And if I had to guess, to be completely honest, I feel like they know it's going to take away from some of their iPad sales. Why sell you two devices in one when they can just sell you two devices and make more money off of you? Having the Fold 4 has taken away the need for me to even own a tablet or a laptop. Everything that I need to do on a tablet or on a laptop can be accomplished on the Fold in some way. And I know that sounds insane, but it's true. And although the iPhone may be a little bit faster or have a slightly better battery life, the iPhone just isn't capable of doing what the Fold can. And I'll gladly take maybe having to top my phone up during the day if that means that I don't have to carry multiple devices and multiple chargers with me everywhere I need to go. The reason I'm making this video is because I was gonna do a direct comparison between the iPhone 14 Pro versus the Fold 4 because they seem to be the two most talked about devices right now. But I decided that it was a completely stupid thing to do because they are just devices that aren't even in the same class. The Fold is capable of doing way more, and while there are certain things that the iPhone does excel at, like maybe recording video, the Fold just does more and it makes up for it in almost every situation. If that's still a video that you would like to see or even be somewhat interested in, let me know because I'll make it regardless. The only reason I considered doing that video is because after I did the camera comparison, people asked me to see like a speed test, a video test, and like in my mind, I just feel like there isn't any point. Even comparing the Fold 4 to the S22 Ultra is stupid because at the end of the day, they're completely different devices despite them being a part of like a very similar lineup. Anyways, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Fold 4 or even the iPhone 14 Pro, and let me know whether you'd like to see an Apple Foldable for once. That's been it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. Have a good one and peace out.